because he's not really allergic to peanuts, and they're going to sue the school again. So no strawberries, no strawberry jelly, no peanut butter and jelly, just dry sandwiches, just 2 pieces of bread. That's your new PB&J in your school because of the stupid suburban moms.
Big dogs are in the house!
Hey! The 84 jerseys out, man. I think this is going to be a fun ride.
Bye, Felicia.
Inside the lane, drive, left, no. By Punch! Oh my goodness! Where did he come from? Behind the back jam by the big P.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Practice like this? Up! We up!
Straight cash, homie.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Clock's here bullshit, so.
Home run! Welcome back, Lou Collins!
Welcome back to Thunderdome for yet another all of Nicole Curtis's house look exactly the same edition of Andy Must Die Minnesota Sports. Kinda. I'm your not so humble co-host at Danny Carlson Show, Rang Shaka, my partner in crime. A woman who talks prolifically about baby karma, and we'll get into that. At Di Murphy, I'm. Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm fantastic. Do you know we have a women's soccer team?
Yeah, the U.S., yes.
We're on Twitter at Andy Must Die, website andymustdie.com, available on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, blah, blah, blah. Hey, so this whole women's World Cup thing, it's kind of a big deal.
It is kind of a big deal.
They beat the Germans, which we've done numerous times before in history.
And it always feels good every time.
Back-to-back World War champs.
I always love that one.
Even though the first time, it was more England, but I don't care. We came in for the save. We were the Joe Nathan of World War I.
Oh, can't we go like...
No. Joe Nathan's my closer.
I don't know. What about Mariano Rivera?
What about...
He's the closer.
No, well, we're talking about twins.
Oh, fine.
I guess he'd go Jeff Reardon, except then he'll go off his meds and then rob a bank.
No. God, what is his name? Rick Rivera?
Rick Aguilera?
Rick Aguilera, that's his name. With the mustache guy. Yeah, I'd go him.
Yeah, but Jeff Reardon's a crazy one. Except he was more of a middle reliever, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he was in the shutdown guy.
Anyways, women's national team, World Cup, exciting times. They play who? Japan? England?
They just played Germany.
I know, but who they play in the final?
Oh, we don't know yet. It's either Japan or England.
Oh, see, there you go. I know way more than you.
Oh yeah, it's obvious.
Now, the thing that annoys me is this time of year, every 4 years, comes out the worst kind of snob social media faux outrage type of person where they're like, well, obviously you don't understand soccer, so you're an idiot.
But those people wouldn't call it soccer.
And then it's football. Fine.
Right.
And see, that annoys me more than anything else. If you're like a white guy from like Mission Hills, Kansas, or Missouri, whatever side of the river it's on, and then you're pronouncing it football, or if you pronounce chipotle, I hate you, and you should burn in hell. But the soccer snobs come out because of soccer, and they're like, well, you obviously don't understand it. No, it's kickball with goals. Neat. And then the women's sports shamers come out. And who was it? Andy Benoit, like a Sports Illustrated writer, really got hammered last week or 2 weeks ago because saying that women's sports are unwatchable. And I don't necessarily agree. I mean, some women's sports are very watchable and very interesting. But overall TV ratings, yeah.
Okay, but I mean, here's my problem with that, and I get it. I get like professional sports is really, I mean, even college sports is all about revenue. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's a business. But I have a 9-year-old little girl. Yeah. And you have a brand new little girl.
She might be a boy.
God.
She identifies as boy. It's a whole other can of worms.
She's really in touch with herself, apparently. Okay.
Well, she got short hair. I mean, oh.
God. Are you gonna let me finish this or not?
Yep.
Women's sports are important. I get that they don't generate as much money as men's sports. It doesn't mean they're not important just because they don't make as much money.
No, I definitely agree with you, especially when it comes to school athletics, intercollegiate athletics, and also like international games like Olympics, World Cup, and that. I should have clarified. I'm talking about women's professional sports.
Okay, but I'm thinking at the same time, my daughter doesn't play basketball, but if she did, she has the links to look up to. Because women's basketball, I mean, the WNBA and the NBA are so vastly different. Like, if you want to learn the fundamentals of basketball, you sure as hell don't go watch the NBA. You watch the WNBA because they know how to play as a team. They are fundamentally sound. They play as a team. There's not the flopping that is like you see in the NBA. There's not all the, there's so much less ego in women's basketball, professional basketball, than there is in the NBA. Yeah. And I would want my daughter, hell, I want my son to watch that.
I agree there is a place for it, but also in professional sports, it is the free market. And, I mean, there is a reason why the Lynx have Mayo Clinic on the front of their jerseys instead of Lynx, and also why the WNBA's first champion, the Houston Comets, folded.
Oh, I mean, absolutely, because as a society, we've been raised that that's men's professional sports. That's what professional sports is. That's how we've been raised. Because for the longest time,
Brittany Griner gets to beat her wife, and then she doesn't even get a tenth of the Ray Rice treatment.
Well, I mean, and then there was the whole Hope Solo thing, so don't even get me started on that.
By committee scumbags, male or female.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying that women can't be horrible human beings. Duh. But I'm just saying, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it. As a business, I completely understand. I know that's why, when the Gopher women's hockey plays, they're on they're not even on like the national championship or, there's some obscure channel, if that, unless you have to watch it online.
KSTP 45, standard definition.
They weren't even on that. They weren't even on that. And that's sad.
The state tournament, boys and girls basketball, get better television coverage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
all right. So I'm stepping off my soapbox now that I've said my piece. Yes, I understand it's a business. Yes, I get that it's all about the Benjamins, but for me, I like having role models for my daughter. And it sure as hell is not Adrian Peterson.
Well, the thing that really bugs me is the whole politically correct shaming culture that we have now. And I like it when it's warranted. Like Ray Rice deserves to be publicly shamed. Hope Solo deserves to be more publicly shamed than she really has been. Same with Brittany Griner. But a meathead, Sports Illustrated, MMQB writer, saying that women's sports are unwatchable, and then he gets the whole flogging through. And
but you know what?
He's a nobody. Who cares?
At the same time, he has a platform that a lot of people read. And I think when you're a professional writer, like I blog when I actually do blog.
What?
I know. We can talk about that later. But I'm entitled to my opinion. But when I write for the Daily Norseman, there's a certain amount of professionalism that I have to maintain. And it's 10 times more so when you write for a major magazine or website.
Daily Norseman going to dock your pay?
Yes. They're going to take $50 from nothing. So
no, they're cutting you by 50%.
Yeah, I'm in the hole. But anyway, so yeah, I think he journalistically, he has an obligation to curb some of that. I mean, I don't like. I'm not completely PC either. I think it gets ridiculous, but when you have a platform like that, you also have responsibilities, and I think he kind of effed that up.
Yeah. My whole diatribe was about the Supreme Court gay marriage thing. Obviously, it's fantastic. I am of the mind that if you love someone, you should be able to get married as long as they're of legal age. Man, woman, man, woman, one. Who cares? Honestly, if you're against gay marriage because of your religious beliefs, don't get gay married. But that doesn't mean someone that doesn't have the same beliefs as you. And you're not going to catch
gay married. Like, you're not going to suddenly become, like, homosexual.
I was wake up, chained to a radiator, and gay married. How dare they? Supreme Court.
At the same time, I mean, I fully support gay marriage. And my children have been raised to understand that those are beliefs that my husband and I have. If at some point in their life that becomes not their belief, then I'll wonder where the hell I went wrong, but that's their belief.
Yep.
However, I also firmly believe in separation of church and state. So I firmly believe that the government cannot require churches or punish churches if they don't perform gay marriage ceremonies, or if they don't, you know what I mean? I think that there has to be that separation. Otherwise, it's a huge slippery slope. There's all kinds of stuff that can get really messed up if that's not
my point was the social media, especially the Facebook, faux patting on the back, trying to make sure you're a good person, because I always love these situations, because especially on Facebook, that's why I don't go on there that often anymore. You always have to congratulate yourself for being like holier than thou. Like I saw someone's status, someone who I've never even talked to in like years, like some sort of high school friend. They're like, if you didn't change your status to the rainbow filter, you obviously do not support gay marriage. And this is the type of person who would not be sarcastic. Like, I could put something out there and then people would know it's likely sarcastic, tongue in cheek. But the whole, oh my God, I'm a good person, I love this because I added a filter to my thing. It all goes back to the hashtag bring back our girls thing. And by the way, the girls still aren't back, and a lot of them have been raped and are pregnant now, but don't see any social media campaign on that. But you remember that, right? I've explained this many times. Like, the whole broke out, and every bored housewife with a laptop was like, oh my God, bring back our girls, what's going on? And then and then a week later it was like, oh, dress is blue and black. What are you people talking about?
And it was like, oh, that was a thing?
Yeah, just moving on. It's like,
right.
You put stuff out there just to lift yourself up and be like, I'm a good person. Now everyone knows it. But it's just all baloney. It's like, oh, I'm glad you supported gay marriage, and all those hours you dedicated to the cause are really adding up. Oh, you didn't do shit? Okay, awesome. Oh, filter? Cool, you clicked. Nice.
I was like, oh, you couldn't even put a sign in your yard? I mean, you couldn't even go that far. I mean, because you didn't want your neighbors to know? I mean, I get it. I completely get it. And for me, it's more about respecting. Like, I'm not going to try and tell you, Andy, if you were against gay marriage, that you're wrong. Because that's not my job.
Ooh,
that's. I mean, I can if you want me to, but
to bring it back to sports, we got to talk about Josh Robinson.
Oh my God! Could you believe that? Okay, so give the background.
All right, so the whole decision went down, I think it was last Friday, and then Josh Robinson basically came out, paraphrasing here, comparing the allowing of gay marriage to statutory rape and incest. So what he's getting at?
Basically pedophilia, yeah.
Yeah, and I talked about this on Purple for the Win with Dave Schwartz, no big deal. But I
love Dave.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I tried to bait him into saying something controversial, except he's a pros bro. He wouldn't go for it.
He's a pro. Okay, can I tell you?
And he's too nice of a guy. What? Go ahead.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
So he doesn't know me from Adam. I mean, he knew me on Twitter, but so in we had a couple exchanges. But we get Ted and I, Ted Glover at Purple Buckeye, get out of the car at training camp first day.
Yep.
And I get out, and Dave Schwartz is right next to us in their Care 11 vehicle, and he looks at me and he goes, "Hey, I know you," and it was the same reaction I got from Brian Robinson when I introduced myself to him so I could interview him.
Yep.
And it was because I was wearing the hat. Even Jeff Anderson, who's like I don't know, pretty high up in the Vikes organization. He came up to me at training camp, like introduced himself and welcomed me to training camp. And I'm like, he would have never known who I was if I wasn't wearing the hat. So this is why I wear the hat, because it's kind of my trademark. But anyway, let's get back to Josh Robinson.
Well, there's things you can say, and you can have your beliefs. That's perfectly fine. But if you're like the borderline 5th, 6th cornerback on a team, I don't know. And plus, you're not a Zimmer guy. I mean, yes, you did have some moments last season, at Chicago not being one of them. But if you're Xavier, maybe you can get by talking some of this junk, and then you'll get a little flack. But he's Xavier. But if you're Josh Robinson, bye, Felicia.
Well, I mean, and I wouldn't have let Xavier off either. I would have I had a lot of tweets at Josh Robinson before he shut his account or locked his account down. And one of them was, maybe Josh Robinson should just worry about not sucking at his job and not really worrying about gay marriage, because he sucks at his job. And my favorite one, and I have to censor this a little bit, but someone was basically like, how am I going to say this? And because I'm sure you saw it, because I know I retweeted it. It was something like, Josh Robinson's a little bit hypocritical because he basically spent like all of the games that the Vikings played, or the Vikings Bears game with like, oh God, what's their wide receiver? God.
Jeffrey Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall, with his junk in your face. I mean, that was basically like what it was, and that was that made me laugh hysterically because it's true.
But it's almost like the double standard. Say, I don't want to put words in Xavier's mouth. He probably doesn't feel this way in his heart. If he does, who cares? But it does go back to the talent giving leeway thing. Like when Chris Cook's whole deal went down, is like, hey, cut his ass, get him out of here. But when Adrian's deal went down, not apples to apples, yes, but still domestic violence in both cases. It was just like, let's let this thing play out.
Oh, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about, one of the best running backs ever.
Who?
And Chris Cook, Chris Cook. That's all I got. And I mean, absolutely, people were, and there's that whole contingency though, that also the underlying thing about it's not okay to beat your wife or girlfriend, but it's okay to whip your child because it's in the Bible and stuff. So,
well, technically, beating your wife is in the Bible too.
This is true. It's not as pronounced as spare the rod, spoil the child kind of thing.
Speaking of children, I had a baby.
You did have a baby.
Yeah. She is a complete daddy's girl. Like, she will cry her balls off. Well, she's a girl, so whatever. And then as soon as I pick her up, quiet. We're going to be friends.
Oh, my daughter is my girl, but she's such a daddy's girl. And that's a really special relationship. And the thing is, it's, if you go on to have a son, like right now, my son's just turning 13. He thinks my husband is a complete idiot, right? But he loves me because I'm the mom. So he will always think I'm awesome and love me. Whereas my daughter totally loves me right now. And in about 4 or 5 years, will believe I'm the Antichrist. And that will last for many years.
Well, what's your menstruation sync up? That'll be like a week-long death match.
Okay, well.
I catch your drift. I catch your drift.
Right, okay.
I just remembered.
This has escalated quickly. But anyway, there's a special bond between a daughter and her daddy. And, I mean, the first words out of her mouth will be dada, and it will piss your wife off because she'll feel like, hell, I did most of the hard work, and because I felt the same way.
No, she's cool with it. She knows that she's going to be a daddy's girl.
But dada is way easier to say than mama, so it's a developmental thing. It's not because I love daddy more.
And all day today, the wife and I were up in the city, South Metro, looking at a couple of houses. Going to put a bid in, so that's always very exciting. Get a little house for the baby.
Where?
Farmington, Lakeville, like Apple Valley, like the whole Trident area.
Okay, Farmington, no.
Farmington's great.
No, it's so freaking far from everything. Here's so here's my advice. And maybe you're used to this from living where you live now. But I used to live right on the border of Woodbury and Cottage Grove. Like, I could spit at Woodbury. I was that close. And so driving literally anywhere took like 30 minutes. Get to work, 30 minutes. In the winter, in a bad storm, 2 hours. Where I live right now, which is just outside of Minneapolis and Bloomington, I can get to anywhere in 5 minutes. It is like the best thing ever.
Yeah, except the thing is, I don't care about those things.
But you work from home, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, but what about the wife?
She has a job in Lakeville, which is going to be like 15 minutes.
So she was commuting?
No. It's transfer. New job.
Oh, okay. Well, see, then that's why. Everything is right there.
Yeah.
All right, I get it. You can get more for your money there, too.
Plus, it's right on the nab. Pilot knob.
Oh, well, I love Egan. I could have lived in Egan, but I'm cool where we are.
There's too many white people in Egan.
You want to talk about white people?
I'm just kidding.
Go to Woodbury.
Most of the suburbs are very gentrified, and yes, you do get insane value for your dollar, and I'm pretty excited.
Well, you and I are at opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, you're just starting your family, and I'm counting how many years until I can move into a condo in downtown Minneapolis and then get a condo somewhere warm where I can flee several weeks.
Plus, I think we're of two different minds. Like, I love yard work. I love landscaping.
Oh.
I love do-it-yourself projects. I love home improvement, all that stuff. Yeah.
See, I've never really done, well, when I was a kid growing up, I had to do yard work, but my husband hates yard work. Neither one of us are handy. Like, I did my best.
Wait. So your husband doesn't like sports and he doesn't like doing yard work?
I know. But he's really awesome. He's a good dad. He's a good dad.
See, I love swinging a hammer and getting a little dirty on the weekends. Di only loves swinging and getting a little dirty on the weekends.
You are a horrible human being. You are. I hang out with my children on the weekend. Thank you very much.
So Towns and Tyus, drafted by the Wolves. It's exciting.
Yay!
And some third guy who will probably get cut. That's fine.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Now, I feel like you should be more excited for Towns, except everyone and their mother is all about Tyus because he's one of us, and the television will be like, oh, born and raised in Minneapolis. Nah, he's a suburb kid. Get out of here.
All right, he played for Apple Valley, and so does his younger brother. Actually plays there right now, and who is also supposed to be. I think his name is Trey. He's supposed to be very, very good. So, I think about the whole Joe Mauer thing,
yeah,
and kind of like what kind of pressure that is to be the hometown guy.
Yeah,
the hometown kid. And that's a lot of pressure, especially for somebody that age. But he's on a team with Towns, Andrew Wiggins, Ricky Rubio. I mean, he has a huge supporting cast, so he's not going to be the main focus.
Zach LaVine.
Oh, I love Zach LaVine. And, I'm a Shabazz Muhammad girl. Love me some Shabazz. But, and even his basketball skills, not just the fact that he's ridiculously cut and has a smile, but like
Bazzi Muhammad, the best ninth man in the league, baby. Get some. Wolves basketball.
I had a chance to meet him, and seriously, like, he has a smile that people would kill for. Like, he smiles at you, and you're like instantly just in a puddle on the floor because it's that amazing. But anyway, so Tyus has the opportunity to not have all the focus on him and all the pressure on him, which I don't believe Joe Mauer did. I mean, he had Morneau, which was helpful, but he was the hometown guy, and that's a lot of pressure.
Well,
so
wasn't Mauer a number one pick or top five at least?
Oh, no. I'm pretty sure he was number one.
There's between being one in the MLB draft and then 24 in the NBA draft, which only has 2 rounds.
I don't know. I think it's just the fact that he's from here that they took him, first of all, because he's the hometown kid. But I also think they feel like he's going to fit with these other pieces that they have in place. Mm-hmm. He needs to get bigger. Because he'll grow into his body a little bit more. He's not going to be a big guy.
He's 19.
Right, exactly. So, but that was the cut on him. Oh, he's not big enough. He's not physical enough. He's not going to blah, 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 blah. There are role players on teams in the NBA, and he will be a role player. He's not going to be Andrew Wiggins. And quite frankly, he's not going to be Karl-Anthony Towns. But he's going to be good, and I think very good, because he doesn't have the kind of pressure that Joe Mauer has always had on his shoulders.
Someone made a great comparison. What it could be is Bobby Jackson.
Yes.
Just a very solid veteran point guard, 6th, 7th man, just come off, never be a superstar, but a solid leader, a guy you can plug and play. And who knows? The Spanish doesn't work out, and they want to move Levine to the 2 guard. He could be a starter eventually.
Right. And, and I think having Ricky to kind of mentor him a little bit is a very nice, side benefit from this whole thing. I'm interested to see what KG is going to do for the other guys, the bigger guys. I was not in favor when they brought him back at first. And then that first game back, I saw him on the sidelines talking to all the guys, especially the younger guys. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is they need to feel this fire, this passion, but they need that advice. And then he got hurt, allegedly. And then he never
got hurt for all the road games. Who knew?
Well, and he wasn't even at the home games. He was the only player that was allowed to not dress when he was injured. So if he's willing to work with these young kids, I think it would be amazing. But I don't know if he is.
My favorite part of the KG return was seeing all these 28, 30-year-old pudgy mofos trying to squeeze into the KG jersey they had from like 10th grade.
That was pretty funny.
It was a size 42, and they're like a size 46 now jersey, and it's just like, look at all these BTs.
I was like, dude, maybe just go buy a new one. They're making new ones.
I don't really like the new uniforms, though. They need to go back to like the very first ones.
Yeah.
The blue, the green, the black lettering, simple. Yep. Send it.
I agree. And they really absolutely have to get rid of the like jersey jerseys or whatever, like the sleeved jerseys. I hate that. Hate.
I feel like they introduced them just to sell more merch.
Oh, absolutely. That's why teams do anything as regarding uniforms or any changes. Can make more money.
Also, I feel like they want to cover tattoos.
Okay, well then they would have to be wearing like long sleeves.
Full lycra body. Oh, they're going to be wearing a scuba suit.
Right, exactly. Because like everybody in their mother has a tattoo these days. Your baby probably has a tattoo. Do
you have a tattoo?
I do.
Where?
One.
Where?
That I got when I turned 40.
Okay. Let me piece this together. See, women usually get an ankle tattoo, except you like wearing sundresses, and that wouldn't be appropriate to show at work. You could go wrist if you wear a watch. It's not arm, not neck, maybe back of ear. No, that doesn't make sense. Shoulder blade, it goes back to sundresses thing, but do you really wear sundresses at work? I'm going to go tramp stamp.
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, fine.
I was 40, not 21. I have a actually a really cool butterfly tattoo on my left shoulder blade.
Ah, dang it.
You were close.
I knew I should have gone shoulder blade. You know what? I thought it'd be cool to get a tattoo, and for a while I had some money squirreled away for it in like a special fund, but it's just something where once I got it, I feel like I would regret it instantly. And then it's just like, it just never happened. So now I'm too old.
I got mine when I was 4. Okay, fair enough. So mine was at 40. I went through a very a big transformation in my life, and so for me, the butterfly was very symbolic of that transformation, that metamorphosis.
You became Bruce.
Yes, that's right. I'm totally a dude.
No, I meant Springsteen, but okay.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's why I got the tattoo. And I love it. I've had it for 5 years. I can easily cover it up anytime I want, which was important to me, like you said, in my line of work. Although it is becoming more and more socially acceptable for people, even as teachers, to have tattoos. Mine was for me. Mine wasn't to show off to the world. That was for me, and that's why I still to this day love it.
Come on up for the rising. Oh, that's right. You don't like Springsteen.
Oh, no, I do. I love Springsteen. I hate Tom Petty. I hate Coldplay. I hate Pearl Jam.
Can't start a fire.
Hate
Can't start a fire without a spark. Wait, was that video shot in Minnesota? I feel like it was shot in St. Paul.
Was it that one?
Dancing in the Dark with Courtney Cox?
Yes. Yep. So she was here before she was famous.
Speaking of someone here in St. Paul, Devan Dubynk is going to be sticking around. What are your thoughts?
I've totally gone through this a million times on Twitter. So here's my thing. They needed to pay him.
Yeah.
Because really, what in the hell else do they have? Darcy Kemper, who's... something's wrong with his head. And Backstrom, who they should have never paid in the first place. And Dubynk played well. They had to give him the contract they gave him because otherwise he would have walked. Or he would have gone elsewhere. I think 6 years is ridiculous. I think he's 29. So that puts him about 35 at the end of his contract. So I thought it was about 2 years too long. But people who know more than I do about contracts and whatever said they kind of had to do this for cap space in that they can restructure his contract or buy him out cheaper than they can buy. Like they worked it so that they could buy him out cheaper than they can buy out Backstrom at this point. Mm-hmm. So I'm in. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting thing, but we have a goalie.
And apparently you need that.
A goalie is important. That's kind of a thing.
All right. So while you're talking about Dubnyk, Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen, the video, directed by Brian De Palma, who directed many movies.
I didn't even know he directed that.
Yeah, well, that's back in the day when people got their start directing music videos because they were actually played. Filmed St. Paul Civic Center, June 28th, 1984. So we just missed the anniversary.
Well, and I was 2 when that came out, so, you know.
Wait, no. You weren't born yet. You were just twinkle in your daddy's eye.
Right. That's even better.
Some trucker's eye.
You are terrible.
All right, fine. Let's see here. Oh, Carlito's Way. And Scarface. Oh, holy crap.
How could you not know that? Although, can I admit that I've never seen either one of those movies?
All right, so hold on. He directed Scarface in 83, and then in 1984 he directed Dancing in the Dark.
Oh, that's how you top that off. Right there. You probably get paid more to do the video.
Now, what have you thought about the Wild's offseason so far?
Eh?
Yeah, no.
It's pretty uneventful.
They're kind of locked in of what they can do, because with the the Suter and the Parisi contracts, they're kind of.
Oh, they have the Suter contract. Yeah, they have huge. Yeah.
And plus, it's the thing that they need is that big one-time guy who can get his own shot, to use a basketball term, a guy, like a Toes, like a Kane, who can just score at will. I mean, Parisi's okay, but he's not that caliber, and you can't get that for nothing. Okay,
Parisi's better than okay.
He's better than that's okay. Your Minnesota bias.
He's better than okay. He played for North Dakota. I don't care. That, as far as I was concerned, he's a traitor. But he's better than okay. He's absolutely same with Ryan Suter. It's just they're not exactly. They're both what the team need, but they're not everything the team needs.
Hockey contracts still make me laugh. 13 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Plus, aren't the bulk of hockey contracts guaranteed?
Yeah, I believe so.
So just like basketball, just like MLB. I love the NFL. All right, so he just signed a 6-year, $120 million contract. $4 million guaranteed.
Yep.
Well, it's not usually that much, but you know what I mean. What do you think about Russell Wilson trying to hold up for $25 million a year?
Hey, you're only young once in the NFL, and
guaranteed.
Yep. Hey, he's done good things for them. Doesn't hurt to ask. That's what I always tell my kids. Doesn't hurt to ask.
You know who else could have done 90% of what Russell Wilson did with Marshawn Lynch and with that defense? Tavares Jackson.
Shut up.
There's
no way.
He could have done about 90% of what Russell Wilson did.
See, now I know you were drinking before the podcast. Because
Save,
there's absolutely no way.
Save for, say, that 3rd and 18 laser he threw to Curse in the, I think it was the NFC title game, either this year or last year. No, it was on the Super Bowl run. So 2 years ago. T-Jack could do everything.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
See, I think what Seattle should do, since Schneider, Carroll are very forward thinkers, not afraid to pull a big coup, like starting Russell Wilson over highly prized free agent Matt Flynn, and also 2011 captain Tavares Jackson. T-Jack was captain of the Seahawks in 2011.
Like, how does that even happen? Like, it's like Bizarro World.
It's hilarious, but I wouldn't put it past them to let him play this out. Let him still think that he deserves to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, guaranteed by $3 million per year. Exclusive rights franchise tag him in the offseason, and then trade his butt for 3 number 1 picks and a mid-level quarterback.
It's Seattle, so I can't disagree with you there.
I could see Seattle doing it. Plus, I mean, RG3 got 3 number 1s and I think a number 2. I mean, what would Russell Wilson, actual proven commodity, somewhat, fetch?
Well, I mean, everyone bought into the RG3.
Wait. Trade Russell Wilson to the Browns for 3 number 1s and Manziel,
No.
baby. Come on.
No. He's not a mid-level quarterback, okay? He's probably never going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I will go on record of saying that.
Well, you could basically run Russell Wilson's same offense with Manziel. They have very similar skill sets. Manziel is a little bit more wild card and cavalier when he's sober, but meh.
Holy crap, I just saw something on Twitter that Jordan Leopold's time with the Wild might be over.
Oh, he's like 50.
But, I know. Okay,
one of
moving
us.
on. Well, his daughter was really cute, and it was nice having him back, and I have fond memories of him as a Gopher. So yeah, that was a tiny bit of homerism right there. I will cop to that.
You know my whole crusade on names, right?
No.
So kid names. If you add a Y in a spot where there should not be a Y, you're dead to me. And Jordan Leopold, I mean, she's a cute kid, and it was cute, the letter that she wrote, basically the ransom note that she wrote, by the way, for what it's worth. Even though we don't negotiate with terrorists, apparently we just give them what they want. The Jordan with a Y,
Okay, well, my Madeline is with a Y.
Yeah, except Madeline, I feel like, has had a Y. So, like the name...
Oh, it's not inventing a name.
Yeah, like the name Lydia, with a Y, that's fine. Crystal with a Y, that's fine. Andy with a Y, I mean, that's obviously, okay. But like Aydyn, Jaden, Caden, and Kazan are like the softest white boy names I've ever heard in my life. Like, honestly, first of all, if you name your kid that, and also if you spell them with the 2 Y's, like Aydyn with the 2 Y's, Aydyn, first off, you're very white. Second off, you're from the suburbs. And thirdly, he is going to grow up to be the softest kid in the history of mankind, because you're going to baby him, you're going to coddle him. The kid's probably going to be allergic to like 17 different things, but he's actually only allergic to none. But you baby him and you think that he's allergic to strawberries. Oh, he doesn't like strawberries. He's obviously allergic to it. So then you're going to sue the school and being like, there can't be strawberries on the menu because little Aydyn is allergic to strawberries, even though it's really not. But I'm kind of a hypochondriac because I look everything up at WebMD. And then the kid's going to say that he has peanut allergies, except he doesn't, because he had a scratchy throat one time, and he's not really allergic to peanuts, and they're going to sue the school again. So no strawberries, no strawberry jelly, no peanut butter and jelly, just dry sandwiches, just 2 pieces of bread. That's your new PB&J in your school because of stupid suburban moms.
I think that rant belonged on your dad podcast.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be on there. Dad mode.
Oh, I've heard it. We did it when I was on. Okay, so what about Caden, Jaden? I've never heard Crazen or whatever you said it was.
All right, so
Caden,
one of the newest name, look it up on the Social Security Registry. It's starting to creep up the rankings. It's Kaizen. It is the dumbest name I've ever heard in my life. All right, so there should be 3 sources for kids' names: your religious background, your family history, and your ethnicity. That's it. If you're out there making up a name just because it sounds cool,
No, I agree with you. I mean, as a teacher, and we talked about this on your dad podcast. I mean, I've seen some doozies, but we have so many Jaden, Caden with the Jayden or Kayden.
Mm-hmm.
Is that acceptable to you?
No.
Okay, so it's not just the double Y, it's just the Y period.
Well, see, I just feel bad for the kid because he's going to have to live with that name. I mean,
everybody and their mother, every other kid's going to be named Jaden or Caden. So they're going to fit right in because stupid suburban moms.
Except they're all going to be soft. They're going to have zero muscle mass. And, when they're 14, it's just like, oh, little Johnny, you want to go for football? No, you can't play football. You'll get hurt.
You might get hurt.
So let's just play Xbox and live in my basement till you're 30.
Yeah, no. That would not fly for me.
Just play Minecraft 19 hours a day. Oh, you were going to be an engineer, but that would require you leaving the house. So, no, you stay. Oh, no.
Minecraft is cool, though. I will tell you that. My kids have made some pretty awesome things. But, of course, I don't let them sit on it like 24/7. So.
See what's better than Minecraft? Legos.
Oh, please. That was the first thing my kids, I mean, that's like that's their favorite toy.
Except for when I step on.
Once you step on 500 of them, then you know what? Minecraft looks pretty good.
All right, it's random. One of the houses we looked at had one of the little kids' rooms was painted wild colors.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, that is weird and random. Especially because red is not a color that I would ever paint a kid's room. I wouldn't paint any room red, actually, because red's a very angry color. I have a personal bias against the color red because I used to have to work at Target. So, yeah. Red sucks.
And then they laid you off? What part of corporate did you work at?
I wasn't at corporate. I was a cashier, then I was a head cashier, and then I went over to be a service desk supervisor when I was in college. I worked at the one on Midway in St. Paul, which was rough. I could tell you stories. I could tell you so many stories.
Give me one. Give me a taste of one.
Okay. So working at the service desk, this little old lady comes in, and she's just super crusty. And she has a vacuum that she wants to return because it doesn't work. Doesn't have a box, doesn't have a receipt. This vacuum is clearly at least 20 years old. I politely try to tell her that, the vacuum has just kind of died and run its course. You need to buy a new one. I can't give you a refund for this. She literally picked it up and threw it at me over the counter at the service desk. Yeah, that was just, and then we had the lady of the evening who would try to return like used lingerie.
Well, how'd you know it was used?
Okay, come on, Andy.
Did it not pass the smell test?
I didn't even try. It was just like, you take it, you hand it to me, you try to hand it to me like that. Nope, take it back. Nope, not happening. So there you go. You got
I feel like if you would have stayed, you could have been an assistant manager by now.
Oh, I have a way better job. I don't like grown-ups. Do you not know this? I hate working with grown-ups because inevitably they end up acting like children, and I would much rather work with children who act like children than grown-ups that act like children.
But you get to work with children whose parents are Kristen Cavallari and they're not vaccinated.
I have been very outspoken on Twitter about this. I don't want to work at a school or send my children to a school where children who are not vaccinated are allowed to attend. I'm sorry. We are seeing increases in diseases that we'd eradicated because of these people.
Yeah, except we're vaccinated. We're immune.
No, actually, not. Do you see they're asking, is it, which one? I can't even think of which one it is now that they're asking you to, when your kid hits 16, to get a second dose. It's the one with, it's the commercial where the mom's like, I thought I was done raising my baby. And then he's like laying there.
No, that's meningitis.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, they're even recommending, I can't remember if it was whooping cough. So that was another one. They're recommending it.
Adrian should have got the whooping cough shot.
Nice. But anyway, I don't know. This is getting too heavy. We need to move on.
Pause. Vikings training camp, something that's not going to be heavy at all. The only thing that's going to be heavy at Vikings training camp is everyone's T-shirts, because Mankato is a hot and humid hellhole.
It was a little warm last year. I did sweat a fair amount. Yep.
And by hot and humid hellhole, I mean that in the nicest possible way, Mankato. You're going to be very gracious.
It was a great place to hang out. The people there were awesome. But it's hot, and I feel for those guys on the field, especially like the big guys. Obviously,
yeah.
Right. So they take better precautions now, I think, because of the whole Corey Stringer thing. But it's hot. It is hot on that field.
Anything west of Waconia is basically South Dakota.
Okay, then.
Basically.
So you're gonna I think you said with your Purple for the Win that you're gonna head down there, right?
Yes, August 31st to July 31st to August 2nd. I could go there August 31st because I'm known to be there.
And that would be tough to do a podcast from there about training camp, I would think. If no one's there.
Well, I could just hang out with the co-eds. Moved into Mankato State because it's not Minnesota State. Mankato will always be Mankato State. But yeah, going down. I think it's the second weekend of training camp, and going to hang out and talk to some of you guys, do some podcasts, set up shop, and probably tab on the Ab, maybe another sort of bar and restaurant. See if I can get a feature training camp sponsor. Should be able to get one, and just be a good time. And you'll be there. Any other bloggers, any other writers come down, just hang out. We'll throw the cans on. We'll just talk.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Right now, we're trying to figure out what access we have from the Vikings, and so we can kind of schedule things. But I know I'll be there at some point for a few days anyway.
See,
I was thinking of that weekend, so I'm hoping that would work out.
Do it. It's gonna be awesome. My buddy Nick, my boy, we got a hotel room. We're just gonna hang out. And see, the thing is, I don't want media access because I would waste it, and give that spot to some other other kid who's gonna do well with it. Although I feel like nefariously, the Vikings have their new stadium, so they don't need to cultivate any more grassroots goodwill. So they're like, fewer media passes here.
Well, yeah, and I get it. So last year was my first time down there, and I was freaking terrified. But I think that the nice thing is the mixture. Like, you've got Arif Hassan, who is like, I can't even fathom how much football knowledge he has. It's like ridiculously crazy. But I think you kind of need people more on the other end, like me, with significantly less football knowledge.
Like Guillermo from Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Right, because I see things differently. And a lot of times I feel like I see things through a fan's lens. A blog lens, but also a fan's lens, because Arif can completely shut that off, I think. And for me, I kind of straddle that line.
Yeah, Arif's a journalist. The rest of us,
right,
we're fans.
Right, and I'm definitely not trying to negate anything Arif has done, because he is fantastic. I can't read half of what he writes because I get halfway through and I'm like, my brain hurts. Like, I can't process this. But there are many, 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 many people who read it and think he's amazing. When we were at training camp, both he and Ted Glover were signing autographs for fans. And that says something.
Now, Ted was signing alimony checks.
Oh, nice. He'll appreciate that when he listens.
No, all right. So example would be like when Arif would go up to Robinson, it'd be like, so on the 3rd and 18, why'd you line up in the wide 9 technique when it had a 3-4, the inside shade of the guards out? Well, did you know the draw was coming? And then you'd be like, hey, what's the deal with the haircut? Nice haircut.
I asked tougher questions than that. But my favorite question that I asked him was, I'm like, okay, so over under on the number of F-bombs that Zimmer drops in the first preseason game. And he looked at me and he smiled and he laughed and he goes, first game? He goes, let's just break it down to like first quarter. I'd say infinity, which was a great answer. And but that, right. I would never ask the kind of question that Arif would ask. It's a completely different experience. So there you go.
I just love to get Josh Robinson on it.
Oh, I would love to get Josh. No, actually, I'm hoping he gets cut.
So Josh, what's up?
How does it feel to be a complete bigot? Oh, great. Okay, cool. You suck. Bye.
I wouldn't even go after Bigot because I think it's misplaced. I feel like he'd be bad analogy guy.
That's true. Except he does have, I don't know if he does anymore because no one can see it, or who he isn't following. But he had the religious picture on his Abby, and he had the religious quote on his profile, and it's like there's some right. I mean, he completely botched what I think he was trying to say, but I still think the message was the same from him.
All right, I'm trying to look up his. I feel bad for Josh Robinson, the running back for the Colts, whose Twitter probably just got blown up.
Oh, I didn't even know there was another one. I mean, it's a common name, so it doesn't surprise me. But
yeah,
I mean, nobody really knows Josh Robinson from the Vikings, so they could have assumed he was from the Colts. Yeah, I kind of feel bad for that guy. He kind of got a raw deal there.
He'll work it out. See. Yeah, I mean, it'll be fun to hang out in Mankato. Practices usually 2 a day, and then everything's done by 5, and 5 o'clock somewhere. That's Mankato.
Ding, 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 tab on the Ave.
Yeah. Plus, I feel we don't do enough drunk podcasts. Plus, since I'm an entity on myself, I'm independent, I can do whatever I want.
And that's the beauty of not being credentialed.
Plus, I'll just show up in the stands, pay my $10 for parking, and just be like, oh, flask.
Well, because when you're credentialed, there are rules. I mean, there are places you can stand, places you can't stand. There are times you can ask questions, time you can't ask questions, and so it's definitely a lot nicer, I think, in some ways. I mean, the access is great. I loved being down on the field, but I think you get there's just so much more freedom in what you can do when you're not.
All right, so Di, you and I and Nick are going to hang out in the stands. We're going to day drink. We're going to get one of those hats that's an umbrella. You know what I mean? You seen those?
God, yes.
And then also, I'm going to get you a visor with like the fake bleached hair coming out the top. that fat guys in Tommy Bahama shirts usually wear.
I'm sure I could rock the hell out of that.
We can sell John Daly merchandise in the parking lot like he does at the Masters. Wait, no, Hooters parking lot is what he does.
Oh, God.
It'll just be a good time.
I am looking forward to meeting Nick.
Will you? Haven't you met Nick?
I have never met Nick.
All right. When you, if you don't get credentialed, will you still go down?
I don't know.
You probably should.
See, the problem is, it's like, a lot of people bring their families. My family could not care less. Like, they don't give two bleeps about going to training camp. So if I could have made it like a little family trek down, but they don't want to go.
Oh, we can be your family.
Great.
Adopt a son.
Can't imagine how weird that would be, but okay.
I mean, I was adopted once. May as well do it twice.
Sure. Yep. I've always wanted a grown son. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was on my bucket list.
Grown son goes out and be an earner. See, that's what I would like to do. Just adopt like a 24-year-old, fresh out of his master's, like Asian. That's all.
Okay.
He's got his master's degree in biomechanical engineering from MIT, and he's just going out ready to earn.
Oh, so he can take care of you? Is that the whole point?
No, it's not even that. I mean, just so he...
So you can say you have a son that's that successful? I mean,
just so he's not hitting me up for money.
Oh, well, yeah, good point.
I mean, that's all I want out of kids. I just want to I think that's the underlying cause that bugs me about all the Aydyn, James, Canes, Mama's boys is that they're going to be so clingy that they're not even well, there are going to be two ways. They're either going to be so clingy that they're living at the parents' house until mom dies and they just live in the house, or they die like a week later, something like that, or they're just complete batshit rebellion on it and then they excommunicate from the mom. Either way. But the thing that bugs me is that it's probably going to be the clinger, and I want my kids to be strong, independent individuals who can stand on their own merits, especially the daughters. And, once you're done with college, you're off scholarship. Bye.
Yes, I mean, I agree with that. And for my husband and I, we are paying for the kids' college. We both had that done for us by our parents, and so sending our kids out into the world debt free is important to us. But you're right. At that point, now you're grown and you need to figure stuff out. And as your parents, part of that is, kicking you out a little bit.
Yeah, that student debt thing is so atrocious. Because I know people who have $100K in student loan debt and are making $25,000 a year. The cost
as a
barista.
The cost of tuition these days is insane. It's insane. So, as parents, we just feel like that's part of our job in helping raise them, is to give them the best start.
And it's good. I put out an estimate. By the time my daughter's ready to go to college, the cost of attending a 4-year public in-state university will be about $250,000.
Whew. I guess I'm glad my kids are 9 and 13 then.
So I'm just kind of like, well, Muggsy, you're Asian, you're smart, you're going to get scholarships, you're going to get cultural diversity benefits. Get a full ride somewhere, whether it be academics, athletics, I don't really care. And then your mom and I will buy a really awesome boat. Call it the USS Scholarship.
That's nice. Yes. If my kids are never going to get an athletic scholarship because they're smart kids. They're never going to be good at any sport enough to get a scholarship. And that's fine. That's just not who they are. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. If they could get, academic scholarships and we could, buy a boat or, I don't know, an island. Not really an island, but just like somewhere on an island, that would not be bad either.
Well, see, the thing is, my daughter's already predisposed to be a gymnast or a golfer. So she has that going for her. And all right, so this also. Do your kids have a trampoline?
No.
It seems like every white person in the suburbs talks about getting a trampoline, even though your homeowner's insurance goes through the roof and your kids are going to use it like 4 times. And like their stupid fat little friend from down the street will probably get down there and break his arm. And then you'll get crap about that.
Well, you forgot to add the fact that not only will your kids only use it 4 times, but that every time you look at it, you're just going to feel super bitter.
It takes up so much room. It's going to kill my grass underneath. I have to buy the stupid net.
Well, yes, because you have to protect the kids. Because they're all stupid.
They're not getting a trampoline. If they might get a pool, because I really want a pool. Like in-ground, like full-on baller pool.
I grew up with that,
Yep.
and my kids absolutely love swimming. And if we lived somewhere where we could use the pool more than realistically 2.5, 3 months out of the year, I would totally get one. They're very expensive to maintain. They're a pain in the ass to maintain. But if I lived somewhere where we could use it 6, 8 months out of the year, or even all year round, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, we're getting a pool. Trampoline, not so much.
Nope.
Yeah. I have a random question for you.
Okay.
All right, so I put this on Twitter during the week. Who do you think is going to be the first men's Minnesota team? Sorry, Lynx, because you win too much. Team to win a title. The Twins, the Vikings, the Wolves, or the Wild?
Wow, that's tough.
Not the Wild. Okay.
Well, and I don't think so either. And sadly, they're getting older. That team is aging, and there's young talent coming up. I honestly think I love the fact that the Timberwolves have done so much, and they have so many young, talented players that are probably going to blow up. And let's be realistic. The Twins are a dumpster fire. So I would go Vikings.
Yeah, I think the Wolves hype is way too premature because this team's probably going to win 30 games next year just because they are young, they are trying to figure things out, and Western Conference.
Right, and they're a few years out from being really, really good.
The sad thing about the Wild is that they're probably the best team right now, but I would put them as the longest odds to win a Stanley Cup because they are getting older, because Chicago will always be there even though they're starting to dismantle a little bit. And I'm still not completely sold on Dubynk. Yes, he did have that awesome half a season, but that whole Chicago series, he looked average.
Well, and for me, I would cut him a little slack for that because, they rode the hell out of him. They did. But you should be able to do that with your star goalie. So that's the caveat. But I really think that, my gut says no. I mean, they have a better shot at winning than the Twins, I would think.
Yeah.
It's probably close. But the difference is the Twins they're bringing all their young superstars up now. Like they're on the brink of that. And I feel like the Wild kind of already did that. And now they're almost on, I don't want to say a decline, but kind of.
Their wad's blown.
Yeah.
And the Vikings, I feel like they do have a couple-year window where Teddy is on his rookie deal, Barr's on his rookie deal, Xavier's on his rookie deal, Harrison hasn't gotten paid yet, where they do have a shot with a lot of young talent, competent quarterback play, a good head coach, and a great offensive coordinator to do something, because the NFL is so wide open every single year. Any team can literally win the Super Bowl. I would have to say the Vikings as well.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about this team. I mean, I watch when the Vikings put out the OTA videos, like the mic'd up and stuff. I love those because I listen to Mike Zimmer, and he is so funny. Like, there was one instance where, like, Chad Greenway made a play, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Chad, 10th year, you finally figured that one out, huh?" I mean, it's just the way he talks to them, but he's also like, you can tell that they totally buy into him. Like, they love this guy. And I haven't seen that kind of thing from a Vikings coach in I don't know how long. So the coaching staff, I think, is great. They have great talent. You know, Teddy's going to be a superstar. I know people still like, well, you know, Amir, blah, blah, blah. Kid's smart, hard work ethic, has the right instincts, doesn't panic in the pocket. I think I'm getting goosebumps talking about this right now because I don't think we're that far from a Super Bowl. Whether we can actually win it is another story, but there you go.
No, that we jinxed it. It's over.
My fault.
All right, so speaking of the Vikings, I want Josh Robinson's Twitter profile, right? And he has a hashtag on his bio called "Here to Serve." Except when I first read it, I was it looked like hetero serve. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. That was that. Nice.
So can you see his whole profile? I thought you couldn't okay. Does he still have the Bible verse up?
In his bio, yeah. His last tweet was on the 26th, and yeah, it is a Bible verse.
No, he actually had it right here. You are a light, be that light. Matt, he abbreviated Matthew 5, verses 14 through 16. Do you see that?
Yeah, his bio, yeah.
Yeah. And then spread the gospel is his header. So, yeah, okay, whatever, Josh. God says get off my side.
See, I mean,
I was kind of kidding.
It's great to be. It's fine if you don't believe that homosexuality is okay by the letter of the law of your religion. But what about people who don't have your beliefs? What if the people who believe something different than you? How come they shouldn't be able to express their beliefs because of what you believe? Yeah.
Right. No, and that's a valid point.
And also, why do you care?
That's another point. But it was like, it was the fact that it was, because I couldn't even believe he said, I read it and I was like, what? I mean, it wasn't like he said, my personal beliefs or my religious beliefs don't align to allowing for gay marriage. Okay, cool. That's your personal belief. But the way he went about it, no, that wasn't okay. And it was just flat out weird.
I think as long as, and sometimes they'll roll out the thing is like, well, when teach them in the schools, what are they supposed to learn? Well, teach them that people are different and that's okay. I mean, sometimes people have two moms, sometimes people have two dads. Would you rather have it? We just stick our fingers in your ears and go, la, 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 la. Act like it's not happening because it is happening. Right.
And your children are going to grow up and work alongside and with these people.
No, it's like the people, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, the whole holier than thou trying to pat themselves on the back for being a good person thing. It's like, I don't see color. Everyone is the same. And as a person of color, technically, I'm like, no, we're not. But that's okay. I mean, just embrace our differences. We don't all have to pretend that we're exactly the same. We come from different places. We have different ethnicities, and we believe in different things, but that's okay.
And that's, if as a society, if we could get to that place, it would be awesome. Like, we would solve a lot of problems that we have, but I just don't know if we can ever get there.
Well, I'm an embracer of stereotypes.
Okay.
Except Asians have the bulk of the good stereotypes.
Well, maybe that's why you embrace them.
Well, I mean, besides small penis, which I found not to be true, no, NBD. Bad driver, pretty okay. No accidents, no tickets, knock on wood. Excel at academics, efficient in things, a good parent who raises academically prudent children. Okay.
Okay.
Does weird sexual things and invents robots? Okay.
That's my favorite one.
I think that's going to be the intro.
Love it. Perfect.
Okay, but other than that, wow, that flew by. We need to embrace the just wing it shows more often. I think that's going to be our format from now on.
I love it. It's very freeing.
Yeah, besides, no one wants to talk about
how bad the Twins are right now.
Are they? Well, they won yesterday, so they got me like a $10 pizza for Papa John's, and I was really happy about that.
Hey, have you ever had Topper's pizza?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh my God, I thought it was really good.
No, the Topper sticks.
Oh, we got the bacon ones.
Yeah.
With the garlic butter?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I think I gained 10 pounds just like instantaneously.
They're phenomenal, like drunk college food.
But see, it's expensive for college kids. I feel like drunk college kids are like, Little Caesars because it's cheap.
Speaking of which, my college town, Winona, they had a drive-through Little Caesars that was open till 2.
Smart.
That was just beautiful. That was such a good thing. Probably encouraged a lot of drunk driving, but
that's probably not the best thing. No.
Yeah, plus it was kind of out of the way. So, either way, don't drink and drive, but do eat Little Caesars when you're drunk because it's phenomenal.
It's not phenomenal, but you're drunk and you don't care.
And speaking of not phenomenal, Josh Robinson, the 30-year-old loving a 10-year-old is not okay, but a 38-year-old loving an 18-year-old is all right.
They're legal.
I get behind that. Wait, now, Di, could you imagine dating an 18-year-old right now?
There's no way in hell.
Okay.
No. You could even go higher.
Mary Kay Letourneau.
You know what? I have never, ever understood that. Ever in a million years have I ever understood that.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of teachers that lust after a young Filipino boy who's in their class, except it's usually the men.
That's not stereotypical.
But see, we need to embrace the stereotypes that aren't bad.
Right. Okay. Right.
All right, so there's 2 classes of racism, like not hiring someone because they're black or Indian or Hispanic for a job that they're very qualified for. That's racism. That needs to be done. Like hate speech, that out there. But making a black joke to a black guy, it's all right.
Depends on what the relationship is.
Yes,
that's an important, very important distinction.
If you're cool with each other, and plus, I mean,
as long as he could do it right back, like, oh,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
Like I mean, that's different. There's a level of.
Well, don't you know that minorities can't be racist?
God, don't you love that one?
Only white people can be racist because that's on you. That's on you.
That's such BS.
And it's fantastic.
Oh God, my stomach hurts from laughing.
Is there? Speaking of which, if I was a black guy and they make like, oh, hey, did you hear that joke about you being really good at athletics and having a large penis? Oh, no, I haven't. Go on. That won't get old.
Okay, Andy. I give up. I got nothing. I can't even follow that.
Anything exciting for you coming up? Are you writing again?
I didn't write for the longest time, and I've been kind of just focusing on just life and kids and family and stuff, and I need to feel inspired to write, which makes me a bad blogger. But when I got to do the Cordero interview, it was awesome. Like, I loved it, and I liked. I can't say I loved what I did, because I can never say I love what I do because I'm too critical of myself. But I liked what I did, and I wasn't planning to cover training camp this year. But after having done that, I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. I got another year under my belt. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to cover training camp. We'll see what happens. It's right now, what I'm kind of considering is bringing my own blog back that I had before I started all of this, because then I can write about all Minnesota sports and not just the Vikings. Like when there's really not much going on and it's really hard to find content. I feel
like you should cuss.
And I can cuss. Right. I can cuss on my own blog, which I love to do. Like, that's one of my favorite things. But the guys and girls because Allison is also on staff there, and they do a great job of providing content during these really slow times. And same with the people at Viking territory. So I'm just not one of those people. Like, I'm really good at the interview part. So training camp would be really good for that. When something controversial happens, like with the Adrian Peterson thing or the Ray Rice thing, I need more inspiration. I can't just kick stuff out like a lot of the other bloggers can. I feel like that was a really long explanation.
So you're one of those writers like, nothing I ever write is good.
No, I thought that the thing I did on Ray Rice was really, really good. I thought my Michelle Tafoya piece was good. I liked the back and forth I had with Cordero Patterson. So yeah, I mean, I'm not professionally trained. I'm not I didn't go to journalism school. I was an English major, yes, but I wrote about Shakespeare. I didn't write about sports. So a lot of this is really new to me, but it's also, and I don't want to make this a career. Like, I look at Lindsay Young on Viking territory, and she and I have just kind of connected on Twitter, and she's going to be doing freelance stuff for the Vikings. She's young. This is what she wants to do for her career. It's her passion. My passion is being a school librarian. My passion is my job that I do every day. Being a mom, being a wife, being a school librarian. This is a hobby. So there's a difference. Arif, obviously, he's going to be big and well paid, I hope. So it's just a different, I look at it through a different lens, I guess, than a lot of people who blog do.
I love that you put well paid with journalism together.
I know, right? If anybody can get well paid, though, it would be Arif. He'd write for like 18 magazines, but he'd be getting paid.
Lindsay's fantastic as well. I've already told her she's going to be a future superstar. I'm going to ride her coattails all the way to the top. And I'm kind of in the same boat as you, because this podcast was fun. It started to bring in some revenue, and that's all good and stuff. But I just want this to be fun. Like, my feature story wants to be me going out with Tommy Kramer along his old 494 route and just getting shit canned, and it would be awesome. I mean, who wouldn't love like a first-person oral history of my wild night with Tommy Kramer?
Right, I get it. I mean, that's where my interest comes. I'm not going to
find Fred Smoot. We find some ladies. We get an 8-ball and
and a boat.
Stuff happens.
Gotta get a boat. Gotta get on a boat. That's Fred's thing.
Fred's not a maritime guy.
Fred likes the boat. That's his thing. Yep. But yeah, for me, it's the personal side. It's not breaking down plays, and that's for people who are way smarter at football than I am. For me, it's more just connecting and getting the stories and asking questions that they may not hear from other like reporters, beat writers, because they kind of can't. I mean, there are some unwritten rules for beat writers, and just because you have to maintain that relationship with the athletes, whereas a blogger, they don't care about you. I mean, they so you can go ahead and, I think, be a little more bold in your questioning. And I think sometimes they feel a little, and I actually had that with Cordero, but I don't know if I can say it because I don't know if he was technically off the record, but I'll tell you privately. But there was an exchange like that, and it was really funny, and I really wanted to share it, but I actually can't. So there we go.
You talk about partying with Tommy Kramer?
No, he did not talk about partying with Tommy Kramer.
Fine. Let's see, coming up with me, Dad Mode Podcast in full effect Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's see, this week it was Monday. We talked about kids and religion, Pastor Christopher Miller. And Wednesday was today's Wednesday. You know what I mean. Nick and I talking about the top 5 movies of all time, not Frozen. My number 1 movie of all time, spoiler alert, Lion King.
Oh, that's a good one. Have you seen Inside Out?
Not yet.
You have to see it. It's like, it's...
The adult version or...
Oh, come on now, you pervert. I took my children. It's amazing. I laughed so hard and I cried a little bit, and it was kind of it was Lion King with more humor. But the whole, I mean, it's wonderful. It's better than Frozen. It's actually, and I love Frozen. It's way better than Frozen.
Frozen is hot garbage on a stick. And that's a completely different show.
Okay,
that one's going to be an anthology. Go.
For me, it's not hot garbage. Again, as the mother of a daughter who has basically been raised by Disney saying that the princess has to be saved by the prince, that didn't happen in Frozen. The princess was saved by her sister. And that is important. That's why I think it's a great movie.
See, I want to know why the king didn't use his daughter with the freakish abilities and powers to go out and conquer, which is what should have happened.
Well, he died probably before he could do that.
Well, no, he was hiding her away and stuff.
Well, I think he was scared. She couldn't control it, and maybe she'd kill like his family, or maybe innocent people instead of people he wanted to take their land and stuff from. Why are we actually having this conversation?
Innocent. Speaking of innocent people, Purple for the Win Monday. I'll have on the show your buddy Matt Manziel. Be a good time.
Aw, tell Matt I said hi. We're actually buddies now. We've been through some stuff, but yeah, I mean, he unfollowed me after he blocked me because I went after him for being kind of an a-hole to some people on Twitter, and then he unblocked me and said he was going to give me a chance. And I gave him 2-3 days. I thought he'd last maybe 2 or 3 days. But then he kept following, or he kept allowing me to follow him. And so then I'm like, I think it's about time we should take our relationship to the next level. And I think you should follow me. And so he did, and he has been for a while. And I would have not.
And he's sliding into your DMs far style.
He is not. If he unfollows me because you said that, I'm going to come after you. We're cool now. Matt and I are cool. So
I think it should be some good stuff. He'll drop some actual Vikings knowledge. I'll ask some inane questions, and it'll be interesting because I feel like we have a very similar dry sense of humor that not everyone gets. Except I think more people get me.
Yeah, and again,
mostly because he's in a position of
right.
journalistic integrity, and I'm just a jackass.
Right, and that's the difference. I mean, he's held to a different standard, which. He's human. It may not be fair, but it's your job. So, but yeah, he's become a kinder, gentler Matt. He really has. So tell him I said hi. Give him my best. Tell him don't unfollow me.
Or you have me at Andy Carlson's show, professional pooflinger. Oh, I should get some business cards made up of that.
That would be epic. Yep.
People take themselves too seriously.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay. This is another thing for another day, but like LinkedIn and Facebook under people's career, they put like senior VP of development analyst, junior partner, blah 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 blah, when they're really just like entry level middle management.
Well, and that's because.
But you got to puff yourself up because you got to make yourself important. But me, I just want to put professional pooflinger.
That's excellent. I think you should do that and hand them out everywhere professionally. But the reason people feel like they have to do that is because corporations pay their employees less. Like, okay, we're going to give you this tiny raise, but guess what? You're the senior vice president of ordering office supplies. So you're like, okay, that's not great compensation, but I guess it's better than nothing.
I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit. And I haven't worked for someone since college. I don't know, sophomore year of college. So was it 19, 20 years old? Because I just don't have that gene in me. I mean, it's perfectly fine if people do, but I just can't. Like, I would fire me if I worked for me. But I'll pay the cost to be the boss.
Yeah, well. All right, I got you.
All right, boom. We're out of here. Me, Andy Carlson Show, professional pooflinger. Follow us on Twitter at Andy Must Die. Subscribe to us, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, all those other good places, and the website, andymustdie.com. And she is at Die Murphy MN. And follow her. And then unfollow her, like Matt Manziel on Monday.
And just tease me. It's terrible. Just tease me.
Coming to yeah. All right. I'm Andy Carlson. She is
Guy Murphy.
Thanks for listening. Have an awesome week. Don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's all I got. And make a racist joke, but in good taste.
Oh, God.
The music was created and produced by Deeb. To hear more of his tracks, check out soundcloud.com/Deeb.
We needed to get this right.